Hey everybody, and welcome back to some more City Skylines Mass Transit. We're back here in Cafetropolis, where for the most part, things are doing actually quite well. We do have a couple of issues that we're going to have to take care of throughout the course of today's episode, namely trash collection, which is starting to become quite a bit of a problem, especially on the outskirts of Mom's Spaghetti, but also surprisingly in the center of Toast Town, or kind of over towards the bottom of Toast Town over here, and even I think occasionally in our industrial sector, which is kind of surprising given that our landfill site is right here in the industrial area. And we also have a few problems still over here in our forestry area, with a couple of buildings not having quite enough workers to get the job done. But as I said at the end of the last episode, I'm fairly certain that if we leave this long enough, like if we just leave it for a couple more days here, I'm fairly certain that these jobs will fill in, and then the new tram line that we set up right about here should bring enough people into this area to actually fill all those jobs, hopefully. I am seeing a few more buildings pop up here with the not enough workers notification, but I still have faith that that will come through fairly soon here. Now, before we get started with fixing the trash and fixing the lack of workers, and also I think there's going to be a bit of a crime problem over here as well, because we don't really have a police station that's able to access this easily, and I have seen a couple of these guys complain about the high crime rate over here, just like we had at the beginning of the season over in this initial industrial area over here, and that's that garbage icon that I was talking about. But I've made a couple of changes between episodes, the first of which is I have extended out Mom's Spaghetti just a little bit to include a few more roads near the river here, and I'm thinking that I'll probably expand this town out to be quite a large one that will hopefully fill in this like whole area here inside of this curve of a highway that we've got coming all the way around and connecting up to our quote-unquote main highway that runs all the way along here at the bottom. But I'll probably do that between episodes. I'll probably just expand out and keep doing more of these kind of twirly roads. We'll have our main road in the middle here, continue on down in a straight line going all the way through like that, and we might even set up some kind of connection here so that people can come into Mom's Spaghetti coming like from this highway just like here, and we might also look into having another one of these roads that kind of comes along and cuts through here as well, just to make it a little bit easier for people to get around Mom's Spaghetti, because again, we don't want to have too many roads like this one that are quite far away from the main street, because this is where things start to go wrong. For example, like with the trash collection here, it's quite a drive to get from all the way over here. You got to come all the way down, and then you got to go down this main road, and then all the way out into the suburbs to get over to here. Inside, don't want to have areas like this that are quite this far away from a main road, but I think we can also solve this just by having another one of these landfill sites just a little bit closer to this town. But again, before we get into that, I've also gone ahead and renamed a couple of the roads within the city, because people in the comment section have been suggesting certain names for districts and roads and all that kind of stuff, and so we now have the likes of the Road, which is the secondary road inside of Mom's Spaghetti. We of course have Main Street here. Main Street Mom's Spaghetti is the main road going straight through the middle here, but we also now have the Road, as well as over here I've made our main highway Razor Road. Razor is one of the people who supports the channel over on Patreon, and then over here we have got Shelby Cat Avenue, which was a name that was suggested, as well as Aquatechnic Street, who suggested that I pick a couple of names from the comment section and throw those down as road names. And so if you've got any suggestions for names of roads or districts or anything like that, feel free to let me know down in the comment section down below. But now that we have taken care of that, I have got a couple of things to fix up here. The first thing that I want to work on is this trash problem, and like I said, I'm fairly certain that we can fix it quite easily by simply throwing down another landfill that's just a little bit closer to Mom's Spaghetti. That way, not only are there going to be more trash collectors on the road, but they also don't have to travel quite as far to get to the garbage that they're collecting and then taking it back all the way over here to the landfill, which I'm fairly certain what's causing a lot of the problem here, because all of these buildings are quite close to the landfill. But I think because of the fact that the garbage trucks in use here are busy going all the way over the highway to get to this area is what's causing Toast Town to not get its fair share of garbage collection. And so I think that should hopefully solve our issues in terms of garbage collection, at least for the time being. We might have to do a little bit of traffic management as well as road maintenance to try and kind of tweak our road system if we notice like big lines of traffic, which can also kind of stop garbage getting places. You'll also notice that I've only upgraded one side of this highway to the actual highway roads. This left left-hand side of the highway here, White Street, is still a normal one-way road, and the reason for that is that we can't actually upgrade this road to a highway due to the fact that we put these tram lines in the middle here, and so at some point I'm going to have to do some major kind of reworking, well, not necessarily major, but I'm going to have to do some reworking of this kind of highway road and these tram lines to make sure that we have enough space to put down an actual highway coming back, but for the time being, I think it's working out just fine. The cars going back this way are a little bit slow, which might be slowing down our garbage trucks just a little bit. You can see the side on the right is going much faster, but again, I think for the time being, this should be fine. So let us see about quickly filling in a little bit more of this residential over here in these new areas that we've created in Mom's Spaghetti, just to quench a little bit of that residential demand that we have been experiencing. So we'll throw that down like this, and we might as well just kind of finish this up here with a little bit more commercial around like so, as well as did we finish up over here? We almost did. I'll put a little bit more there, a little bit down there. I don't want any quite on the edge like that. I think somebody will move in right there, and so we'll put down a little bit of commercial there as well. And also, I would like to, where possible, of course, get rid of all of these traffic lights where possible, which reminds me, we do have quite the monstrosity of an intersection right here in the center of Mom's Spaghetti. Look at this. We've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lanes all converging here with traffic lights. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those traffic lights, and it's going to become even more of a mess with all these cars trying to judge when they can go and when they can't. But the cars in this game are kind of like self-driving robotic cars. They are perfect drivers who know exactly when to drive, and so not having these traffic lights works out quite nicely. Do we have any more over here? We don't, but I think that if I'm not mistaken, again, we do have traffic lights over here that are causing a little bit of an issue with traffic getting in to our new forestry area, and we are also running out of water, which is not a good thing at all. Also, we do not quite have enough water running up here into the new district that we've created, so let me quickly do something like that. I'm getting a little bit sloppy when it comes to these pipes here. That one there especially is definitely not following the roads, but I think that should be fine for the time being. We'll also hook this up like that and do a little bit like this as well. Now, is it worth throwing down another pump here, or should I just increase the budget for water? Right now we're at 100%. I'll try bumping that up to like 115%. How is that gonna shape up? Is that gonna be enough water for the time being? Just barely. Like, that's just barely enough water to keep the town going. And so I think I might as well. It costs only 240 a week, and we are making just shy of 5,000 a week right now. So I might as well just throw another one of these down and try and solve the water problems for quite a while to come here. And I will as well pull that budget right back down to like 80%. And now I did notice that that didn't quite solve the sewage problem, quite obviously, because putting down another pump doesn't actually increase our sewage output. And so I'm going to put another one of these down all the way down here. As always, I don't really want it to be anywhere near our water intake. This one is quite close. We put it there early on just to try and save money, but I think I might also, you know what, we'll move this. We'll do something like that, and then we'll move this one as well, just a little bit further down like so, just to make sure that our pump is as far away from our outflow pipe as is humanly possible. Again, it should never cause an issue. This polluted water should be far enough away. What is that? Oh, that's it's a bush. I saw that like the water had flowed up, and it looked like there was something floating in the river there, but it should never affect the... Oh my goodness, are these still working? I think these are still working. It looked for a second there like they were just not even touching the river, which might impact our water availability just a little bit, but it looks like we're fine. Yeah, we are, but our sewage treatment is not good because we don't have any power connected. Let's do something a little bit like that. Should be just fine. That should come back online and should be good for the foreseeable future, and we can probably now get rid of this as well. It's almost certainly not necessary to connect these guys to power, although we are running a little bit low on electricity here. We're consuming 101 megawatts and only producing 110, and so I might preemptively just throw down another one of these coal generators as well. I think I'll throw it down like right about there. Does that leave enough space for another landfill if we want one? It does not, but I guess we can always move that over by one like so. And that should leave us with enough space, yeah, to put down another landfill if we so wish. And so now that's done, how are we doing on industry? Like I said earlier, these guys are starting to complain a little bit about crime, and we also do have a fire over here, which is probably not great, I'm assuming, especially in an area that is covered with trees, this forestry area that we've got. And so it might well be worth our money to throw down a little bit of... Did we throw down one? No, we didn't. It might be worth our money to throw down a fire station and a police station over here. It does feel like a bit of a waste to have these two just servicing this one area over here, but again, once we extend that Mom Spaghetti like this, they'll probably also come in use for servicing the left half of the city. We do need to hook these guys up with power, of course, like so, and I think we are almost in a safe place to actually expand out this district just a little bit more, because if I'm not mistaken, we've got just a bit more forest, yeah, kind of just down here, and so it might be worth our while to do something a little bit like this, extend that out by one more block, like that, and like that, and then again do the same thing like this and like this, which seems to be working out just fine over here. Again, these traffic lights are just a nightmare at causing traffic to back up here, and also the trams are not the best. We probably, in hindsight here, should have had a system like this one, where the tram pulls up, people get off, and it doesn't really intersect with the road. This one does intersect just a little bit, but I think what may have been a better idea, and one that we probably should still implement, and you know what I am going to here real quick, we're going to replace this with a normal road so that normal road traffic can go backwards and forwards, and the trams don't interfere with it, and instead what we'll do is we'll put down just another tram road that comes across, that kind of cuts across like this. I want it to be as close to this road as is possible, so we'll kind of bulldoze this, and then if we do something like... Really? I can't go in a straight line here? Really? Can I snap to grid? What is that? Why can I not have this be a straight line? Okay, let's try and move out a little bit here. We'll do... Really? You're gonna make me have like this weird... Like... Really? Really? Okay, let's try instead doing like a bit of a curve thing then and see if we can't have it kind of come round like that. It still looks a little bit weird, but what we can do now is we can move this stop preferably over to here like that, and then what we can do is we can go over to the paths, and we can just have people walk from the bus stop that's going to be here over and onto this main road, and then once they've got to the road, they can just walk across, and much to my surprise, people are actually using these bus stops that we set up here, and the buses that we have that come along, pick people up, and then literally just drive on and drop them off seconds later, which is a little bit crazy, but I'm glad that people are using them nevertheless. Is that working? It does look like it is. We do have a couple of people who are stranded here, and so we might want to move this stop kind of a bit further around. I guess we could put it here, and then it might be beneficial. I'm not quite sure if people can just walk straight across these tram lines, but even if they can, that's probably not particularly safe. And so what I think I'll do is I'll just do something like this, and then have that come back up and reconnect over there. And so if people do get dropped off on this side, they can just walk down, under, back around, and get to work nice and safely. Cool, and so now we've got a much less traffic-inducing system here where people can still get to the industrial area via tram nice and quickly, but they're not causing a big blockage in terms of the traffic coming here. And I might also at some point upgrade these roads to bus lanes, because I am noticing a little bit here that a few times the buses will come in, they'll stop, and then traffic will kind of start to pile up behind the buses. That might only have been a problem because we had a bus stop on our tram road, and now they might be able to go around the bus stop, or around the bus while it's pulled up at the stop, but we'll see. It looks like for the most part that's not an actual issue, which is good. It's good. And so what we'll do here real quick is we will throw down a few more water pipes like so and like so, and then we'll throw down just a little bit more industrial area like this. I'm not going to fill in this area just yet because, again, we're probably going to have a problem where, at least at the start here, these businesses are not going to have enough employees, and so I don't want to put too many down too quick here. I want to get these ones filled up with workers before we start putting down the other ones. And now that we've done that, we have a nice high amount of demand for residential. And so what I want to work on now is our next major town, which I've decided is going to go right here to the north of Toast Town and kind of to the northeast of Mom Spaghetti. And I'm going to take the idea of somebody in the comment section who suggested building another town in the shape of a coffee cup. And so I kind of like the theme we've got going here. We've got Toast Town, we've got Mom Spaghetti. I kind of like our food-themed towns and districts. And so what I am thinking is we've got a nice amount of money here. We've got 60,000 from me just gabbing on at the start of the episode here. And so what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to build a nice big town, and this is going to be kind of one of the main roads like this. It's going to take a bit of a different structure to our normal cities, which have like one center road and then other roads around them. This one's going to be surrounded by these big 4-lane roads, but I'm thinking that if we have it come out to maybe about here like that, and then we'll grab our curve tool and we'll do something like this. We'll come right down, and now the trouble with this is trying to get it to be at least somewhat symmetrical so we can have a town that looks a little bit like that. Now, I don't know if that's quite a perfect, like, semicircle. In fact, I'm fairly certain that it's not, but the plan here is to have another road that kind of comes out like this. I think normal teacups would probably have, actually, more of, like, a curved handle, maybe? Like, ooh, I don't know. My first instinct was to have like a straight road right here and then just a curved road coming down like that, if that makes sense. But I think what might work out here, and I might as well press play whilst we tinker around with this, is having something, I don't want it to be too sharp, but maybe like, no, you know what? I think I'm going to go with my original idea. I think I'm going to go with a straight line road like this. We'll go like halfway there, and then we'll have a curved road that kind of comes down and then hooks up. Boom. Is it perfect? Not by a long shot, but I also do not think that this is a perfect piece of toast, nor is this a perfect piece of spaghetti, although it might be close to perfect spaghetti, I'm not quite sure. But what I'm going to do now, guys, to save you watching me do the same thing that I've done for Toast Town and Mom's Spaghetti, I'm going to go away, I'm going to put down all the roads and all the pipes for this new cup district, and I'll be back once that is done. And there we have it. Not too long later, we've got our new Cup District, which is full of roads. We've got a roundabout in the center. I quite like the look of these cities that kind of have like a roundabout in the middle and then a bunch of roads coming off it. It also will hopefully help a little bit maybe in terms of traffic. So I'm not quite sure how this one is going to work out, especially comparing it to Toast Town and Mom's Spaghetti. It doesn't have a main central road that then branches off. It's surrounded by these roads that then move inwards. I think, hopefully, it will be small enough here to where traffic isn't too big of an issue, and I'm hoping that it will actually work out better than some of the other, better than the other two towns that we have already, in terms of making sure that everybody has access to all of their facilities. So, now that we have that, let me start filling all this stuff in with some residential, and then after that's done, we can start looking into getting some public transport over here, and I should probably start actually near where we have power, and actually thankfully we do have power down here now thanks to the fact that we've got our sewage outflow pipes over here. Now the connection that this new town has to the highway is not the best, and it can only people can only come in and get out via this one half of the highway, so only if you're coming this way, I guess, which is going to be a bit of a problem. Not so much for people leaving, because people leaving can just turn around over here and then go kind of round out here and then just back onto the other side of the highway. But people who are trying to get into this new cup-shaped city, which I'll be taking suggestions for names, by the way, in the comment section down below, people trying to get into this city are going to have a bit of a problem if they are on this side of the road. So if they're coming in from over here, or if they're trying to get from Toast Town over to here, because they've got to go all the way over here, and then once they get to this point, they can then do a turnaround and get back, which I guess isn't too far away, but it would probably make a lot more sense just to have like a one-way road coming off right about here. And for the sake of symmetry here, I'd like this to be underground, and so what I'm thinking is if we do something like this. Oh, we're a busy town. We've unlocked city planning, oil industry specialization, which should come in useful, free public transport, which we might look into, but we probably will make quite a bit of money from public transport. We'll see how traffic goes, and if it gets too bad, we can always change it. We've unlocked a ton of stuff. We've unlocked so much more stuff, which is great, but we'll go underground here on like the shortest road we could possibly do, and then I think what we'll do is we'll just have this kind of go across. I'm going to try and get it to be, I want it to be like a little bit further to the left here. So you know what, I'm going to take just a second to get rid of this road and try one more time. You know what, I'll come down from here to there is where I want it to be, but I messed that up. We'll do it like that, and then we'll do it like this, and then we'll see if we can come back up and join up there. We can indeed. Good stuff, good stuff. Quickly turn around that road there, and we are good to go. I like it a lot. So these guys are complaining about a lack of power, which should be a fairly easy fix. Hopefully eventually we won't need to have these things to actually connect them up to power, but for the time being, let's just get rid of that and then see if we can't do something like this. There we go. Okay, so that should connect everybody up over there. Also, I entirely forgot about a tram stop that I was supposed to put down right about here. Someone in the comment section rightfully pointed out that we should have another stop kind of like right here on the way back, because right now the way that the trams work is that the tram goes around here, it stops here, and then it goes all the way through and back over into Mom's Spaghetti before coming back over and stopping here kind of in Toast Town. And so if people were trying to get, for example, from the industrial area to Toast Town, they'd have to go all the way via Mom's Spaghetti and then back again. And so instead, having another stop, kind of maybe like right about here, will allow people to jump off and enter Toast Town without having to take the full trip all the way over and into Mom's Spaghetti and back again. We do still have a few more bus routes to throw down in Mom's Spaghetti, actually, looking at this. Still got a lack of workers over here, which I'm quite surprised at. We'll speed things up a little bit. Hopefully people will start moving in over there fairly quickly. And we might even see some people from the new Cup District go and work there as well. We do want to set up some public transport for these guys as well, so quite soon. But before we do that, let's get down some essential services. I think we're probably going to be best putting these down on the outskirts. I'm quite tempted to put them in the middle here on the roundabout, but I think they're going to be more beneficial kind of like around the edges like this. So we'll put down a clinic, we'll throw down a little firehouse over here, we'll throw down a police station, I guess like maybe up here, and then finally we'll throw down an elementary school. And ooh, do we want to throw down an elementary school? We've got two, but they're quite far away. We do desperately need another high school because right now we're almost at the point where we have people who are eligible who can't go. And so I think what we'll do is we'll throw down our second high school, like right here. That makes it a little bit more accessible to people who live in Toast Town. They can just kind of hop on the highway and get over to here. But then I also think, just to future-proof a little bit, we'll throw down an elementary school over here as well, like that. We do need power to connect these guys up, but that is not going to be too much of an issue. And now I'm basically going to go to town on painting this thing. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do something like this. Now, I am going to tweak a fair bit of this, but I think just to get a general like map laid out. Now, I don't want people, again, building on this highway where we can avoid it. I would very much like to keep this free for commercial areas and also for facilities. Actually, I should probably pause whilst I go through and get rid of these, because otherwise people are going to start building and then getting kicked out, which is not what we want whatsoever. So let me just quickly get rid of all of this. And I also don't really want people building on the inside of the roundabout either, and I don't think that I really want people building on the outside edge of this roundabout either, because again, people start parking up on the roundabout, and then you end up with a roundabout that's a lot more difficult to traverse and ends up causing more traffic than it's really worth. So we'll get rid of a couple of these as well, like that. But I think that that is pretty good. I'm happy with people moving into all of these areas over here. Now that I look at it from a bird's eye view, there doesn't seem to be quite as much residential like zonage as I thought there would be, but that's fine. We can always go ahead and fill in this area over here, or just throw down some more towns in the near future. Let me quickly fix that into residential and then throw down a little bit of commercial just kind of here opposite the school. You know, people might want to go and grab unhealthy beverages, or maybe do a little bit of clothes shopping. I don't know, maybe grab a coffee, or what do we have over here? A convenience store. That seems helpful. A neighborhood shop right next to a convenience store doesn't seem... Another convenience store? Guys, you gotta... And a general store? You gotta diversify. You guys, you're not gonna make any money. You're all in direct competition. This is ludicrous. A neighborhood shop, a drugstore, a convenience store, and a drugstore. I don't foresee this working out too well. I'm not gonna lie, but that's fine. And so we have got a nice area over here that we can use, hopefully, to try and push our population up to, I think, 8,500 is when we start to unlock some of the fun transport stuff. For example, the blimps are underneath the plane section. I remember somebody in the comment section saying that we should use blimps to get people over and into the new like forestry area over here. But unfortunately, we don't have blimps unlocked yet. But with this new town, hopefully we can get that done fairly soon. We have yet more problems with garbage, which is not great. I am going to bump the budget up for trash just a little bit. It's already 115%. I'm going to bump it all the way up to 150, which is going to make it quite expensive, but hopefully those extra garbage trucks will make life just a little bit easier. Again, I think it's probably going to help if we expand out Mom's Spaghetti to allow a couple more, to make it easier for the garbage trucks to get to these guys. And so I think what we're going to do, kind of mirroring this side over here, we're going to have a road that comes up straight like that, and then straight down like that, and then we'll connect up the other end here to the highway at some point in the future. I'm not going to do this just yet, but that's kind of the general idea of, I think, what we need to do in order to solve our trash problem. Although, it might be just a traffic issue in general. How are we doing in terms of traffic? This is not looking great. We don't have any traffic lights here, but there are kind of 3 junctions right next to one another, as well as a lot of people crossing the road, which is not fantastic. Again, it would have been nice to not have the trams on the road at all, but I think kind of just getting rid of this road might solve a bunch of problems, because people can still get there via this kind of hellish intersection that we've got in the middle. And yeah, already that seems to be kind of alleviating a little bit of the traffic that was building up here. It's gone from that dark red to more of like a neutral orange, although it's kind of redding up a little bit. No, it's definitely getting better. We're almost green over here on the left, which is good. We do have a lot of people in the middle here, though. We might at some point have to rework our tram lines, because this is just ludicrous. Look how many people are crossing the road. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. I'm glad a lot of people want to come to Mom's Spaghetti, but geez. Speaking of that, we do need to throw down a new district over here like so, which we will name probably at the start of next episode. Let's get rid of a little bit and try and make it a little bit more kind of in line with the shape of the town like so. These guys as well are complaining about garbage. Now these guys I'm not really too surprised at. We don't unlock incineration plants until 8,500, which is a little bit of time away, but I don't really want to be throwing down too many more. Oh my goodness, okay, so we've got another full landfill, so I guess we should actually throw down a third one like that, because right now we're working from one landfill that's trying to service all like 5 of these areas that we've set up here, which is not good whatsoever. And you know what? It might even be in our best interest to put down like a 5th one here. Landfill usage is at 63%. It might be worthwhile putting one down somewhere near this Cup district. And so you know what? Temporarily, whilst we wait to unlock incineration plants, I think I might throw down another... I might throw down another landfill kind of just off the highway here. It's going to look bad, and it's also... Actually, no, that's just going to be bad, because then again, the traffic for those garbage trucks is going to be horrible. We're going to have to go all the way around to get over here and all the way back over here. They're going to have to use the roundabouts so often, and so I think what I might do instead is temporarily throw one down, like maybe up here, just to kind of service this area. It is going to cause quite a bit of pollution, and we are going to have to, at some point, get rid of it and kind of just wait a little while before we start putting down houses over here. But we might put offices over here at some point, which I don't think are going to mind too much about the pollution. They're not going to be happy about it, obviously, but hopefully it won't be too bad. And so we'll do that, and hopefully that'll start to alleviate a little bit of the trash problems that we're having around in our new city. Look at that. Immediately, like 6 trucks are dispatched to go and solve the trash crisis. They're going a lot further away than I would like them to go. I would have preferred them to go and service this area over here, but that is fine. Let's get rid of you, and 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 you. I think we are good on traffic lights. So, now that we have done that, I did also figure out between episodes of what I was talking about last episode. I mentioned that there was a way to tweak the bus lines and the tram lines to determine how many buses and trams you have on any specific route. And so, for example, if we go to the transport overlay and then I click on this line, you can see now in the bottom here, we've got vehicle count modifier. And so right now we have 4 buses taking people up and down this road. We probably don't need 4 buses for this. If I'm being honest, we could probably have people wait just a little bit longer. And so I think we might bring that down to like maybe 3 buses like that and save just a little bit of money. And also they do give you a quite handy little like overview here of the line, so you can see where each bus is, how many passengers are on each bus. You can see right now we've got 2 buses with nobody on whatsoever. Right now this one's just filled up with 13 people, but the question is, are these ones going to fill up before this one empties out? This one has got some people on it, and so having 2 is definitely useful, but the question here is having 3 more useful, because right now it looks like only 2 of these are being used at any given time. I guess having 3 makes it just a little bit faster, even though 1 bus is always going to have 0 people on it. And so for the time being, I'm going to leave this with 3, but we kind of need to do the same thing with all of our bus lines to get an idea of just how many people are using it. You can see right now 72 people are using this bus line. This one's got 5 buses, and quite a few of these, 4 out of the 5 buses are full. And so this one is one that we could potentially even increase the number of vehicles using the line at some point in the future. You can see here, car trips saved 59%, which is quite good. Over here, we've got car trips saved 37%, so a bit less of an efficient route, but still one that's not too bad at all. What is this one over here looking like? This one saved 44% of car trips trips. Again, 5 cars. And again, pretty much all of them full apart from one. And I don't think that having one empty bus kind of as like a buffer is a bad thing whatsoever. This one, they're all full. There's only 4. And it saved 64% of car trips. And so you know what? I'm going to bump that one up to 5 cars just to get that extra buffer bus and try and maybe increase the car trips saved even more. Now, in terms of tram lines, it looks like we've got a bit of a problem with trams because we've got a lot of trams that are backed up. We've got way too many trams. And so I'm going to bring this number like right down to like maybe 8 because 13 trams just seems like way too many. Although each one does have a few people on it, considering each one can hold 90 people and it's actually holding just like 2 or 3, in this case just 1, it seems a little bit ridiculous. Now, we do really need to color coordinate our tram lines because right now they're all the same color and it's a little bit off-putting. And so I will just kind of tweak these just a little bit into kind of these lighter colors to make them just a little bit more easily distinguishable when we're looking at the transport menu here. So all the lines kind of intersect, which is not great. How is this line? There's even 2 lines here, isn't there? How is this line doing? This line is saving 32% of car trips, and this one's actually doing really well. Most of these ones are not massively full, but at least fairly full. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bump that down to like 7 because I think we can cram more people into fewer trams and still kind of have the same effect and also try and reduce the amount of traffic in areas like this one over here. Speaking of which, how is this one doing? This one is looking like one of the most popular ones, saving 33% of car trips, but this one's quite full. I think I'll leave 7 there. What about the blue line? No, the blue line is definitely the most popular here, but I don't think that adding more trams is necessarily going to solve the issue, especially considering how many spaces we've got on some of these trams. And so you know what? I am going to bring down that to 10, and I'm going to bring this down to like maybe 5, or we'll stick at 6 for now, but just to try and reduce the number of trams about, because as you saw just then, they were all kind of backing up over here at the tram station, and they kind of still are a little bit backing up here, which is not really what we want. We want them all to be flowing as smoothly as possible and carrying preferably as many people as possible to get the most money out of the amount of money that we spend on each tram here. And so, is there a traffic light here? There isn't. There's just a lot of trams. So hopefully, us reducing the number of trams there will kind of reduce the amount of traffic and the amount of backups that we have in terms of trams, but we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. The coffee cup is filling up quite nicely. I like it. I like it. We do have a little bit more demand here for industrial, and so you know what? Let's throw down just a little bit more over here, and also it looks like we're having a pretty big problem with our water right now. What is going on? Is it the new... It must be the new area over here that we've set up that's just like drastically putting a huge amount of strain on our pumps, although it could be the like what I mentioned earlier with this not being high enough up. And you know, I'm going to try real quick just kind of moving these downstream just a little bit to see if that has an impact on how our water does, or how the amount of water that we have changes. It looks like maybe it went up a little bit, but it just went back down again, so maybe not. It's kind of moving a little bit around there. These guys are still, for the most part, complaining, although it's kind of flickering on and off. We'll bump that back up to 100%, and I think that should easily cover the new area that we've got over here. Traffic over here seems, for the most part, to be fine. Again, let's get rid of traffic lights, which I feel like I'm doing freaking all day long here. We'll get rid of that one as well. And then do we have more down here? We don't. Good stuff. But that's all working out nicely. Garbage seems to have been taken care of with the extra 2 landfill sites that we introduced, which is good. We've still got a bit of a problem in that this road on the left here is not a highway, and therefore things are getting quite slow. And you know what? I think it might be beneficial here to tweak this. I mean, I was going to say what we should do is get rid of that, and then have this go underground. Now, it's going to look a little bit hideous. I'm not going to lie. It's going to look pretty bad, if I'm being honest. Let's see. Can we get that down there at all? We can get it down like that, and then have it come back up in a bit of a weird... It's not going to look as good, which is going to annoy me a bit. But we'll try and have it connect up to there in like the same place. I don't think it looks too bad, but the problem that it creates is that people who are on this road now can't get out onto this road. And also, I feel like it does still look a little bit weird. Let me try changing that to be a bit more like this. If we have it kind of come down like that. I want this to be as short as possible, like that, and then connect up. It looks really weird underground, but now above ground it looks a little bit more sensible. And so what I think we're gonna have to do with that then is have these kind of on-ramps that take people from maybe like here up and around and to there, and then maybe also up and around and to there, and that might work out. Basically what I've tried to do here is just kind of stop cars blocking trams, because you can see like this, that car cutting across the tram causes a bit of an issue, whereas before, these cars that are coming up on the left-hand side here used to cut across and then go on the road that was previously here. Now they're going to the left, which means they're not cutting across the trams, but still getting onto the highway over here, which is good. It does mean that people who are coming down the road from the right-hand side here can't now get onto this road, but for the most part, I don't think anybody is coming down this right-hand side, because the only thing up here is the bus station and the tram station, and so I think the only vehicles using this road on the right-hand side are buses and trams. And so hopefully that should be fine. We could, for the sake of symmetry, do something like this. It's not perfectly symmetrical, it's a little horrible actually, but you know what, I'll leave it like that for the time being, just in case anybody gets stuck up here and wants to turn around and then get onto the highway like that. That should work out just fine. People are using it. Oh no, we should get rid of that, because now what people are doing is the same thing they were doing before. They're coming on the left side and then cutting across because they want to get over here, and this road now is the fastest way to do that. So we'll get rid of that. We'll try and keep people going kind of around to the left here. If it looks like it's going to cause a problem at this junction, which it might do if the traffic gets too heavy, because we do have two junctions that are very close together here, then I might tweak this again and maybe move it back to how it was before, but we'll see how it works out. I think this might work out better for the time being, and I think it is definitely helping the trams not get too backed up, although again, that could be the changes we just made to the number of trams in the system, and just as I say that, there's like 5 trams here that are going to get backed up now. But with that, guys, I'm going to end this episode of City Skylines Mass Transit there. As always, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to like, leave a comment down below. Next time we'll come back, we'll expand out the new teacup area, we'll give it a name. We'll also look into getting some public transport going for this area and connecting it up to the other key areas that we've got around our city here. And we'll also hopefully get to that 8,500 population milestone, at which point we unlock planes. We're close to unlocking monorails, which is quite good. Cable cars are a little bit further on down the line. I would like to get trains, because we do have a train line just here that we can start to utilize as well. And I think what I might do is have kind of one big central city here. Once we unlock high density residential and commercial and offices, I think we'll build like a big central city up here with like a really good source of public transport that can take people around the city, as well as towards all of these kind of outlying suburban areas that we've built around already. But again, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.